Have you ever met someone who's a walking paradox? The kind of person who's quiet but somehow the loudest presence in the room? Who listens more than they speak but leaves you feeling like they've known you forever? If you've ever crossed paths with an INFJ, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. These individuals are like riddles wrapped in enigmas. Hard to decode but impossible to ignore. Why do they act the way they do? What makes them so mystifying? Buckle up, because we're about to unpack the 12 reasons INFJs are the most confusing people you'll ever meet. Let's dive in. 1. The walking contradiction, idealists who see reality. INFJs are the ultimate paradox. They're dreamers with a PhD in reality. On one hand, they spend hours imagining a world where kindness rules, poverty is eradicated, and everyone holds hands under rainbows. They'll cry over a touching movie scene or get fired up about social justice causes. But don't mistake their idealism for naivety. These folks have a laser-sharp understanding of how the world actually works. They'll cheer you on as you chase your big dreams, then gently point out the loopholes in your plan that could lead to disaster. It's like they have one foot in Fantasyland and the other in a boardroom meeting. Friends and family often struggle to label them. Are they optimists or pessimists? The answer is both. They believe in the beauty of what could be but aren't blind to the messiness of what is. This duality makes them hard to pin down. Just when you think they're lost in la la land, they'll hit you with a reality check so precise it'll leave your head spinning. 2. Social chameleons who hate small talk. INFJs can blend into any social setting like chameleons changing colors. At a party, they'll laugh at jokes, ask polite questions, and seem perfectly comfortable. But inside, they're counting the minutes until they can escape. Small talk drains their soul. They'd rather discuss your childhood traumas or your secret ambitions than chat about the weather. They'll remember the name of your first-grade teacher or the way you take your coffee, but ask them about celebrity gossip or trending memes, and they'll draw a blank. Their brains are wired for depth, not fluff. This creates confusion because people assume their adaptability means they enjoy socializing. Wrong. INFJs are masters of mirroring. They match the energy of the room to avoid standing out, but it's a survival tactic, not a hobby. They crave meaningful one-on-one connections but would rather swallow glass than network at a corporate mixer. 3. Overthinkers who trust their gut. If overthinking were an Olympic sport, INFJs would win gold. They'll analyze a text message for 30 minutes, dissecting every comma and emoji. They'll map out 10 possible outcomes for a simple decision like choosing a lunch spot. But here's the twist. When the pressure's on, they'll abandon all that analysis and go with their gut. It's like watching a detective spend hours gathering evidence only to solve the case with a sudden hunch. Their intuition isn't just a feeling, it's a superpower. They'll walk into a room and instantly sense tension, even if everyone's smiling. They'll meet someone new and just know if they're trustworthy, often without concrete proof. This flip-flopping between logic and instinct baffles everyone around them. One minute they're methodical, the next they're impulsive. But to INFJs, it makes perfect sense. They gather data obsessively, then let their inner compass guide the final call. 4. The hermits who crave connection. INFJs are the human equivalent of a do not disturb sign that secretly wants company. They'll cancel plans to binge watch a show alone, then spend the night wondering why nobody texts them. They need solitude like plants need sunlight. Without it, they wither. But their hearts ache to connect deeply with others. It's a constant tug of war. Leave me alone. But also, please check on me. They might vanish for weeks, only to reappear with a heartfelt letter or a surprise gift, just because, when you're sick, they'll show up at your door with soup and a stack of movies. When you're heartbroken, they'll listen for hours without judgment. But if you demand too much of their time, they'll retreat faster than a turtle into its shell. This hot and cold behavior confuses people. Are they introverts or extroverts? The answer is neither. They're a hybrid. They love humanity but get exhausted by humans. 5. Emotional sponges with steel boundaries. INFJs absorb emotions like a sponge. Walk into a room angry, and they'll feel it in their bones. They'll cry during sad commercials, celebrate your wins like their own, and carry the weight of strangers' problems. But cross them, and you'll meet a side of them you never knew existed. Their kindness isn't weakness. It's a choice. They'll cut toxic people out of their lives with surgical precision, even if it means losing sleep over it. One day they're hugging you, the next they're blocking your number without explanation. This whiplash confuses everyone. How can someone so caring be so cold? But INFJs have a zero-tolerance policy for disrespect. They'll give you endless chances until one day they're just done. No drama, no second chances. It's self-preservation. They'll prioritize their peace over pleasing others, even if it breaks their own heart. 6. Perfectionists who wing it. INFJs are planners. They'll color-code their schedules, draft to-do lists for their to-do lists, and panic if things don't go according to script. But throw them into chaos, and they'll shine. They can improvise a speech, fix a last-minute disaster, or calm a screaming toddler with a random song. It's like they have a secret crisis mode switch. You'll never know if their flawless presentation took weeks to prepare or was cobbled together an hour before the meeting. This duality baffles coworkers and friends. One minute they're stressing over font sizes, the next they're MacGyvering a solution with paperclips and duct tape. Their secret? They hate surprises but trust their ability to handle them. They prepare obsessively so they can wing it when needed. 7. The counselors who hide their own struggles. INFJs are the therapists of their friend groups. They'll stay up until 3 a.m. listening to your breakup saga, send you motivational quotes, and remember your therapy appointments better than you do. But when they're hurting, good luck getting a straight answer. They'll write cryptic poems, post vague song lyrics, or joke about being fine while dying inside. They'd rather chew nails than admit they need help. Why? They hate burdening others. They'll downplay their own pain to avoid seeming needy. It's frustrating for loved ones who want to return the support. You'll hear them say, "Don't worry about me," while they're secretly drowning. This creates confusion. How can someone so in tune with others' emotions be so bad at sharing their own? 8. Hopeless romantics with sky-high standards. INFJs believe in soulmates, grand gestures, and love that lasts lifetimes. They'll daydream about slow dances in the rain and handwritten love letters. But they'll also stay single for years because nobody measures up. They notice everything: how you treat waiters, how you handle stress, whether you're kind to animals. They have a mental checklist longer than a CVS receipt. Fall short, and they'll walk away even if it crushes them. This confuses partners. You're so loving. Why are you so picky? But INFJs would rather be alone than settle. They crave depth, not drama. They want someone who's both a lover and a best friend, and they'll wait forever to find it. 9. Advocates who loathe conflict. INFJs will march for human rights, donate to charities, and fight for the underdog. But confront them about leaving dishes in the sink, they'll shut down. They hate personal conflict like cats hate water. They'll avoid arguments at all costs, even if it means swallowing their anger. But threaten their core values and they'll turn into warriors. They'll quit jobs, end friendships, or cut off family over moral lines. This flip confuses everyone. You'll tolerate my bad habits but ghost me over a political comment? Yep, INFJs pick their battles carefully. They'll bend over backward to keep peace but won't compromise their soul. 10. Masters of reinvention. INFJs are lifelong shapeshifters. They'll wake up one day and decide to learn Mandarin, switch careers, or move across the country, seemingly on a whim. Friends struggle to keep up. Last year you were into yoga, now you're a coding expert, but it's not impulsiveness. They're driven by a hunger to grow and evolve. They outgrow relationships, hobbies, and even versions of themselves. This can come off as flaky, but it's really about self-discovery. They're not running from something. They're running toward becoming their best self. 11. Secret rebels in sheep's clothing. INFJs look like rule followers. They'll nod politely at outdated traditions and avoid making waves. But underneath, they're revolutionaries. They'll quietly challenge norms, break unfair systems, and empower others to think differently. They won't scream their beliefs from rooftops. They'll plant seeds of change through actions. Coworkers might never guess they're donating to radical causes or mentoring at-risk youth. This low-key rebellion confuses people. You're so quiet. How did you organize a protest? INFJs believe in change without chaos. They're rebels with a cause, not a megaphone. 12. The ghosts who leave a lasting mark. INFJs often feel like outsiders, so they drift in and out of lives quietly. They'll vanish from social media, skip reunions, or move cities without fanfare. But years later, you'll catch yourself thinking, what would INFJ say about this? Their influence lingers like the smell of rain after a storm. They teach you to be kinder, dig deeper, and question the status quo, often without saying a word. People rarely forget them, even if the relationship was brief. This quiet impact is their legacy. They don't need applause. They just want to know they made a difference. Conclusion. So, are INFJs confusing? You bet. They're a mix of quiet fire and gentle storms. Impossible to categorize but unforgettable once you know them. They'll frustrate you with their mixed signals, awe you with their insight, and challenge you to see the world in kaleidoscope colors instead of black and white. But that's the magic of INFJs. They don't fit neatly into boxes, and they're not meant to. Their complexity is what makes them extraordinary. They love deeply, fight silently, and change lives without trying. Sure, they're hard to figure out, but maybe the world needs more mysteries like them. After all, the best stories are the ones that keep you guessing.